What's going on, y'all? Welcome to today's episode of Solutions. I'm Cam, and on today, we're going to be discussing some on-time encouragement for y'all. Today's video will really be curated towards lust, so if this is something that you've been dealing with, this video is probably for you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the video. I'm going to give y'all a little baby example. So one thing that God is showing me is I know that I need my wife at this point, and I'm saying that as a young black 21-year-old. As you can see, I got locks, whatever. One thing that was huge for me to realize was sex can become a void, and it can become pointless. Like, you're gonna feel like when something isn't serving you anymore, even if you to yourself, like, you can tell when you not where you supposed to be. And God showed me, okay, you do need your wife. I was trying to dead it so I can focus on my purpose. He really showed me in a few ways. First, he had me get back with my ex. I didn't get back with her, but I basically been on this journey where since I came back from my HBCU, shout out to all my Jaguars, Southern University, SUBR, you know what I'm saying? After I came back from my HBCU, God told me to lock in, and I really been celibate for the last 2.5 or so years. So recently I've really been highly emotional, and I know that it's spiritual because I ended up linking with my ex again. So when I linked with her, I literally hit her up. I was like, should I be saying this? Oh, that's tough. I'm thinking about my wife. What did she go watch this? She go, no.
I mean, well, you being honest, you saying like, hey, I realized this wasn't not my wife.
So look, as y'all can see, I just had like a whole you know what I'm saying? Because this video is really free flow. I haven't even written out topics for this. So in my eyes, me linking with her, I was like, man, I really wanted to stay away from that. Like 2.5 years, cool. No. Like, I literally hit her up. I was like, K, we just gonna call her K. I was like, K, and she was like, yes. Like, you ain't texted me in so-and-so years. I was like, can I come see you? And she was like, yeah, what's going on? She was like, you don't have to just come see me at night when we was in person. That's what she's saying. I'm not even on that. I needed that. You know what I'm saying? I did not crush, relax. When I went to her, before I went to her, put it this way, I literally texted her. I was like, I just need a hug. Cause it was literally like 7 o'clock and it's winter. So it's dark outside. And me and her relationship in the past was when it's dark outside. Just put it that way. We was actually in a relationship, but that's what it was. So I'm making that clear to her, like, I literally just need a hug. For some discernment, those of y'all that's not making a connection, that was God's way of showing me, like, you're craving intimacy. You're craving physical touch, not inherently in fornication relations, but you need physical touch. You need that presence. So prior to that, I had been trying to, oh, I don't need my wife, to myself type of thing until she comes in. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm opposed to me sitting in faith and waiting, which is what God really wanted for me to do, so I can break down the walls that I needed to break down on my own, where I can realize my shortcomings. So a little bit of background, if you all haven't watched the video on why I decided to become celibate, I'd highly recommend y'all go check that out. Long story short, I crashed my mom's truck, and God told me that if you sleep with the woman that I've designed for you before y'all are married, I'm gonna kill you. And put it this way, prior to that, I had said a prayer that prior to the accident happened, this was over a year ago. My prayer was, I pray that you don't allow me to be intimate, meaning sleeping with somebody or just spending time with somebody. Black people got this concept of, I ain't gonna say black people, a lot of the older members of my family have this mentality of dating. And I believe that can get misconstrued because their version of dating definitely involves sleeping with the individual. In my eyes, I didn't want to do that form of dating because that creates an appetite. That creates an appetite that is more difficult to get rid of than it is to avoid in the first place. So as I'm going to see my ex, I'm already know I'm not gonna lay with her because I'm either acknowledging that she is my wife and I'm disregarding what God said through something that actually mattered to me, that he spoke to me directly, or I'm saying she isn't my wife and I'm contradicting myself according to the prayer that I said. So I linked with her, we talked, I hugged her. It was interesting because she had to leave. Like, she was working, like she was going back to work the next day and it was already like 10 because I texted her at like 7 and I went to the gym and then I was with her at like 9, 10. So she like, I'm finna go in the house, blah, blah, blah. As I leave, God is speaking, like, you can see that you're craving intimacy. And even before then, I was like, okay, maybe I do need a wife because I definitely need kids, because the Black community needs me to lead by example as far as how I treat my wife, but more importantly, me leaving my generation, leaving my offspring moving forward so they can be leaders on their own. So that's how I'm thinking. And God is like, no, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I need my wife so we can walk in our purpose together. God is like, what about you? Because in my mind, I'm like, I need to spend every breathing moment that I have pouring into the Black community. And God is like, that's no way to live. So for those of you all that are dealing with lust, number one, you are not alone. Me and a few other people that I know, like my circle's already small because I actually talk about stuff that matters in this generation, but you are not alone. So acknowledge that you have a problem. That comes first. And number two, a big thing for me, well, God, he was like, that's over with. You know what I'm saying? It's baked. He like, if you do it, you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. He also did that through another one of my exes. Like, I was leaving my ex house as I crashed. Bro, y'all got to watch that video. Y'all literally have to watch that video. God was like, that's no way to live. Like, you almost will inevitably be burned out every day. He was like, when you decide to go down that path, you're guaranteeing burnout. Like, you're going to be burned out. And you being burnt out, your wife is going to see it, and that energy is going to be on her, and that energy is going to get passed down in y'all kids. So rest is a big part of that. And that whole revelation was like, what does Cam need? What does Cam need? God, he like repeats things sometimes. Or you would notice a word, like you may read a sentence like, need help, contact us. And you would see help ? And that'd be the only word that you notice. And you see that word multiple other times. That's God speaking. So pay attention to it, because I know people 5, 10, even one of my parents has admitted, like, man, both of my parents, I peeped the signs, but I didn't acknowledge it. Ended up having to go through life the hard way. The sooner you acknowledge those signs, the sooner you can tap into what's my real reason for chasing lust. One, you probably either got an appetite built up. Two, you're trying to ignore the lover side in you. One thing, I know I'm a lover boy. So it's huge for me to have that intimate, to like hugging a woman can be more intimate than sleeping with her. Like, for real. If you've never been in a real relationship, you know, like, no, like, it's real. So having that in mind, you have to really figure out why you're feeling this way. And when you step away from it, which is square one, it's easier said than done. Bro, pray over it. I'm praying over anybody that watched this video. Like, I pray that God make it abundantly clear unto you what it is that you're struggling with and why you're struggling with it. Because you may think you got a lust problem, but that may just be a means of distraction from something that you're going through in your life, whether it be sleeping with somebody, smoking, anything. Like, this is bigger than that. Like, when you tap into it, that's when you understand when the elders be saying everything is really spiritual. Like, what my boy, he was like, you really start to understand covered by the blood. And that's real. So, I ain't gonna lie, you could do it. Like, we at the end of the video, Shorty, you know what I'm saying? You did it. You had the discipline to make it through the video. You got the discipline to grow into who you were designed to be. This ain't no chastisement video. This is me admitting that I've had faults in the past. I'm 21. It's people that's older than me that are still in the same place. It's people younger than me that are further ahead than me. Acknowledge where you are and focus on becoming the best version of yourself. So, man, I'm declaring a blessed year over y'all life as well. But, man, like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment if this has helped you, comment that. Because even if you see it as simple, it may be somebody else that's watching the video that's afraid to say something. But when you build community, that's what allows people to open up more. That's what allows this to be what I needed to be, a safe space for people that are dealing with things that don't have nobody to talk to. Like, especially Black men. Like, it's, oh yeah, I'm masculine, like downplaying your emotions, when in reality, tapping into your emotions is what's gonna allow you to be the father, the husband, the leader of your community that we really need. So, not to say you gotta be feminine, you know what I'm saying? You may have your soft side that you only show to your wife. Don't let past experiences keep you from your blessing. So, lock in, do your best to figure out your why. Like I said, I pray that y'all have a blessed week.